Okay, this video vlog number 4. Hello, in the last video I was saying about, in the last 3 videos about how the world is idolatrous. Now the question I ask here, and I guess it's the question you ask, well, how's that so? Well, I will give you some insight into that now. You see, the calendar that's used is not of Yahuwah. Neither is it of Yahushua. Neither is the way of Torah. It's not. No, it is not. It is called the Gregorian calendar because it was created and made by one of the pontiffs of Rome. See? Gregory. It's a solar calendar, which means that it is of the sun for sun worshippers to worship. All the months of the year are all the names of other deities. Okay? Or, so you're calling on the names of other deities and all that, and the months are all wrong and everything else. But the scripture's pretty clear in what it says. If you disturb the months, and if you disturb the seasons, and if you disturb my ways, right, then you will go off and you will eat all kinds of disgusting things, and all kinds of blood, and all kinds of meat. All kinds of blood. For those who go after the wrong things. And the wrong way. Has that happened? I think it has. I think it has. Basically, that's just the truth. That's what's happened. Even the days of the week. Days of the week are other names of other mighty ones. You see? See, Abraham's father, Torah, had a place where he had set up 12 deities, which he worshipped every month. But Abraham, right? Abram didn't, he didn't esteem them. He thought, I'll put these to the test. First he esteemed the sun and it went down. And that wasn't any good. Then he esteemed the moon and that disappeared and that wasn't any good. Then he went and esteemed all the deities in Tarak's house, his father's house. And they weren't any good either because he offered them food and they never ate it. None of them. So he figured, oh, well, how can I get rid of these deities? So he said, how did he do it? Well, he just put an axe. He axed the whole 11 of them, and then put the axe in the big one and said, oh, the others went after the food before the big one, and the big one got insulted over it and destroyed them all. Of course, Tarak got upset, went and saw Nimrod, because Nimrod was the sovereign, and told Nimrod about it, right? And Nimrod wanted to see Abraham, and then Abraham went and saw Nimrod, and Nimrod said, well, what have you done to your father's deities, his Elohim? What have you done to Abraham's Elohim? And then Abraham said, well, the big one just destroyed them all. That's what happened. He said the same thing. Well, yes, he said, and then Nimrod said, oh, you know that these things don't live. They have no life in them, you know that. And Abraham turned around and said, then why do you practice this stuff? Why do you do your idolatrous ways if you know that they don't live and they can't speak and they can't move and and they can't stand and they can't reach out and take food? Why do you do this? Your idolatrous ways. And of course, Nimrod didn't like that. So his decree was of Abraham, well, Abraham, you shall be punished for this. You shall be destroyed in the fire. In the fire you shall be destroyed. We will heat it up 7 times, 8 times, 10 times. That's what he said. And they did that. Is this in the scriptures that you've read? Is it? I don't think it is. See? And they took Abraham and they threw him in the fire with his brother, who Tarak had blamed. Well, the brother wanted to follow Abraham, but he didn't commit himself. He just wanted to wait and see. He was sitting on the fence. He wasn't all in. You see? He was half-hearted. See? For half-ass, he did. That's what he did. He was half-hearted. He did it, you know. We don't do it half-hearted. We do it all the way, you see. Just as it was said in Shawshank Redemption by who? Eh? And that's the thing, see? He didn't do that, so they threw him in and he burnt. He went to death. He was killed. And some of the people that were throwing him in, they were all idolatrous anyway, so the fire licked them up and burnt them severely, and they died too. And Abraham stood up. All the clothing that was on him burnt off, except if that was around his loins, and that was it. And he stood up and he walked around in the fire. And nothing touched him. Nothing. Yeah? Because he stood up and said that he would believe in Yahuwah and call on the name of Yahuwah. And that's all he would do. And follow Yahuwah. That's what he said in his heart, and he followed Yahuwah, and when the test came, he was delivered from it. You see? Walking around in the fire. And the messengers went back and told Nimrod, no, Nimrod, he's in the fire walking around. Nimrod wouldn't believe and send a messenger back and to see. And I says, sure enough, oh yeah, there's old Abraham walking around in the fire, and not a hair singed on his head. Right? And then Nimrod himself went down to have a look to see if this was true. And sure enough, Nimrod saw it. And he cried out to Nimrod. Nimrod cried out to Abram and said, Abram, come forth out of the fire. Why? Well, you know. And Abraham came forth out of the fire. Not one hair on his head was singed. Nothing on his body was burnt. And he said to him, who has delivered you from this, from the fires that I have created, to burn you up? And he said, Yahuwah did. Yahuwah delivered me from your evil and your evil ways. And Nimrod had to admit, yes, Yahuwah is the Elohim. Nimrod had to admit it, see? Oh yes, he had to admit that one. He couldn't get away from that one. But he is the idolatrous man. He was the first man who created the idolatrous ways that for the men to follow, to get away from Yahuwah and his ways and the Torah. See? So they could pursue the wealth and riches. Of course, Babylon was the wealthiest city in the world at the time. It had more riches than anyone else. And let's face it, that's what man wants. Men want to be rich. Billionaires, millionaires, wealthy, but rich. Trillionaires if possible. You know, at the expense of the poor, of course. You know. But of course, Yahuwah doesn't like that. Now, does he? But that's how they are. You know, the worshippers of the evil one. Of Godriel. Yeah, that's his name. I haven't mentioned it till now. That's his name, whether you like it or not. Once again, the idolatrous people will challenge me on this one. They will. Of course they will. Because they don't like being shown their idolatry and who they worship. They hate that. So they will blaspheme me and curse me in every way, shape or form. But nevertheless, the truth is the truth. You know. Canuck 69:6 says that. And who did he do? Who did he trick? Chava in the garden. Of course he did. He had tricked Chava, Adam's wife, who led Adam astray. That's what happened. Godriel. You know, the mighty one of wealth and riches, of fortune, which is what every man wants. All is vanity. Vanity on vanity, said Slow-Mo. All is vanity. And he was right. You're going to die. Don't care what you say. Look at my face. I'm dying. We're all dying. A dying world is what it is, and that's the truth. And no, but the people are idolatrous, hoity, proud, you know, covetous, you know. They do not obey Torah. They don't care. See? I'm naming their sins, their crimes against Yahuwah. And like I said, they call on the names of other deities. Even in the assemblies do the same thing. They do the same thing, call on the names of other deities. They do call on the names of the month of the year. They call on the names of the days of the month. They call on the days of the months of the year. And, you know, what does month mean? Moon. Month. They call on the days of the week. The deities. Of all the yoms. Yeah? That's what they do. This is how it is. They're idolatrous, that's all. And in their books that they read, on the front cover, there's two deities right on the front cover. The deity of happy and the deity of perversion. A perverse place where perversions were done, where the temple was for prostitutes and little boys were, you know, where they can molest the little boys and all this kind of stuff and have sex with animals and, you know, it's perversion. That was all. A perverse place. See? See? It's perverted. Of course it is. It's a deity of happy. And that what you can go to do that one you can do in India. So a deity of happy and it's happy perversion. That's what it is. Exactly this. That's exactly right. It's perverted. You're calling on the names of other mighty ones, other deities. Period. Okay, so that's it. I think I'll just call it that because I'm getting too wordy and it's too long. Okay, so if you want to hear more, just subscribe and I'll give you some more. Okay, all right. So this is video log number 4. That's enough for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.